Welcome back to Wainsider, where we dig deeper than the highlights, uncovering the emotions, history, and hidden truths that shape the very soul of wrestling. Tonight, we're looking at a clash that goes far beyond wins and losses. It's about trust, legacy, and uneasy alliances. The bloodline has long been fractured, torn apart by betrayal, pride, and the heavy crown Roman Reigns once wore. And now, as the group's influence wavers, the question of family loyalty lingers heavier than ever. Jey Uso has been caught in the middle of it all. Once the devoted twin standing by his brother's side, he's wrestled with guilt, pride, and the haunting shadow of the tribal chief's collapse. Every choice he makes feels like a test of loyalty. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Then there's LA Knight, a man who has risen through charisma, hunger, and relentless defiance. Knight has built his career by standing alone, but when the fires of the Vision threatened to engulf WWE, even he found himself in unfamiliar territory, needing allies. For weeks, Jey and LA Knight circled one another with unease. Their goals aligned, but their trust did not. Jey carried the weight of family scars, and Knight carried the pride of a loner unwilling to bend. But when the storm grew too dangerous, something remarkable happened. Jey Uso and LA Knight set aside their differences, uniting to confront the Vision, a force determined to dismantle everything in its path. The decision wasn't celebrated. It was tense, reluctant, and uncertain. But in WWE, survival often forces unlikely bonds. And in this uneasy pairing, fans saw both hope and danger. The crowd felt the tension the moment they stepped into the ring together. Jey and Knight exchanged glances, their body language screaming mistrust even as they fought side by side. Every move felt like a gamble, every tag a test. The Vision pushed them to the limit, exploiting every hesitation. And yet, somehow, Jey and Knight held firm. The crowd could feel it, two men fighting not just for victory, but for something far deeper. It was halfway through the battle when the night shifted. The lights cut, the arena roared, and there he was. Jey Uso, the brother who walked away from it all, the man torn between love and survival, loyalty and freedom. Jey stood at the top of the ramp, watching. His eyes didn't carry celebration or anger, they carried conflict. The crowd begged for him to act, to choose a side, to either join his brother or stand against him. And then, in the ring, chaos erupted. Jey and Knight rallied, pushing back the Vision, but the distraction left them vulnerable. Jey moved closer, his presence throwing Jey off balance, his hesitation giving the Vision an opening. In that instant, the fragile alliance began to crumble. Jey looked to his brother for support, but Jey did not move. His silence was louder than any betrayal, his stillness cutting deeper than any strike. The match ended in chaos. Jey and Knight fought bravely, but the cracks were too wide, the distractions too costly. The Vision stood tall, not because they were stronger, but because trust had faltered. Backstage, whispers filled the air. Did Jey intend to sabotage the alliance? Was his hesitation a choice, or the paralysis of a man torn between blood and survival? The locker room had no clear answer, only speculation. For Jey, the sting was unbearable. He had taken the risk of trusting LA Knight, of reaching beyond bloodlines and legacies. And in the moment he needed his twin most, he was left standing alone. For LA Knight, the night was proof of what he's always believed, that trust is dangerous, that allies are fleeting, and that in WWE, betrayal waits around every corner. Yet even he couldn't deny the bond he felt forming with Jey, however fragile. The Vision's victory wasn't just about dominance, it was about exploiting family fractures. They didn't just defeat two men. They exposed the wounds of the bloodline for the world to see. And now, the story grows darker. Jey is torn between the brother he cannot let go of and the ally he cannot fully trust. Knight, meanwhile, stands at a crossroads. Does he fight alone again, or risk heartbreak by trusting Jey further? The legacy of the bloodline looms over it all. Once a symbol of unity, it has become a reminder of betrayal, broken trust, and family torn apart by pride. Every step Jey and Jey take now rewrites that story, for better or worse. Fans are left with more questions than answers. Will Jey Uso ever be ready to align, either with his brother or with Knight? Or will his hesitation forever haunt the legacy of their family name? One thing is clear. The scars of betrayal run deep. Jimmy and Knight may fight together again, or they may fracture completely. Jey may return to his brother's side, or he may walk his own path forever. But whatever happens, the story is soaked in blood and trust too fragile to hold. Because in WWE, victories fade, titles change, but betrayal, broken trust, and blood, they never heal.